Hello and welcome to a Fallout 4 Creation Kit scripting video. In this video I want to tell how I created a teleporter script based on the script that Fallout 4 uses for the memory launcher. So when you go into Kellogg's memory, it's a fairly simple script and it's pretty effective on how to use this. So if you want to have an effect as what they use in the memory launcher, then you have to, well, you don't have to, but that is the easiest way to do it, is to create a trigger or activator. In this case I made a trigger, but you can also use a piece of furniture like what they do with the memory launchers, and attach to it an event. So basically, in my case, I add a trigger and I said on event when this trigger is entered by the player, so we get the reference for the player, and we only want to run the script once. We turn off the radio for the player and we get a linked reference. In this case, the linked reference is made to an invisible door, because we are going to activate that door during the fading process, during the teleport scene, to teleport the player to next area. So we preload the area, we wait 2 seconds, and then we start the fading process. So basically, if you set it to true, it's fading out. This is the second property is for white or black. So in my case, I wanted to fade to white, so I set it to false. If you wanted to fade to black, then you set it to true. The third property is for how long you want to have the seconds before the fade. So I set this to 1, and the actual fade is the fourth property. So I set it to 8 seconds, and the last property is if you for if you want to hold the fade at this moment of time, and we want that because we want the fade to actually stay in the screen that it goes to until we fade the game in again. We also start the sound, the teleport sound. So if you go into the memory launcher, you will get this sound that you are teleporting, and I basically took the same sound. So play the sound from the player. This is the property that you play it from the player. Then we wait another 20 seconds. So basically we give time to actually do the fading process and give the player the idea that they're actually fading into a new location and not just like a very fast fade and just teleport to another scene. Then we get our linked reference again, so the door, and then we activate it. So basically we first preloaded it from the area that is linked to the door, and now we activate the door. So this is what basically literally transports the player from cell A to cell B, and we want to teleport the player. Then we fade the game in again. So this is false now, so we want to fade in. We still want to have the white fade. You want to be this to keep this consistent. And we want to immediately fade in, and the fade in takes 5 seconds, and we no longer want to hold the fade, so we set this to false and we wait another 5 seconds to give it time to actually do the fading process. So if this is done, this script, it will teleport us to the next room. So let's see what in this situation the next room is. Which is in this jail cell here. And you can see that here's another invisible door that we will be teleported to, and the actual door marker is here. So this is where the player will be teleported to. And there is another script running from the quest script, because this script is attached to the marker where the player will enter in, because it is on trigger and on trigger enter, so it's attached to the trigger. But there also is a quest script running here. So basically, if the player in this scene is loaded, then the player will be put in this trigger here, which will go to this stage here. So we wait another 3 seconds. This is for my quest that the mayor is moved to the marker, and he will actually walk down the stairs and go into here and talk to the player. But before he has the time to do all that and comes to talk to the player, we want to handle another thing, and that is what the companions will do, because we also want to have our companions here. And we also want to have certain effects to handle the companions. In my case, in this quest, the player is stripped of all his items. So here I will strip the player of his items and teleport it to a specified chest, and I will put on a color to the player, and I made another quest to handle all that. But if we go to the quest script of this quest, we can see that there is a small script that handles the companions. So basically, we get an array that takes all the followers from the player. So it will return an array of the actual followers at that moment of time. And this script will say, as long as the index of the array is not the size of the array, then we do this. So basically it will follow this script for all the companions that you have, and we'll just fill the index with the number of the follower. So for each follower, we will teleport them to this heading marker here, because we also want to have the same effects as we put on the player to have on the companions. So we move them to the other jail cell, remove their items as well, and also add a color. And you can use this for your own interpretation, for your own situation, your own quests, of course, as every situation is different. So if you have any questions about this script, then let me know and just message me. So yeah, that is the teleport scene.